God, the boneless one that shall never change. There's no Trinity in God. I mean, all praises due to Allah. If there's the enemy of the angels, Chibio, Mikio, those none of the Chibio for the Quran down from the heart of Prophet Muhammad, the Messenger of Allah, the Lord of all worlds, enemy to his well. All praises due to Allah. All praises to the Lord of all worlds. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah for the old. Traders.
Pause. Queensbridge in the building. Primo on the beat, word up. Primo on the beat, word up. Dusty tapes in the attic, memories rewind. Voices from the past echo through my mind. Blocks I ran, corners I claimed, friends I lost. Every lesson had a price, every line had a cost. The hustle never paused, fiends scheming in silence. Police lurking corners, plotting with violence. I press play on the tape, hear the screams in the laughs. Every scratch, every beat of the photograph of the past. Old homies on parole, some gone, some return. Lessons we never learned, still inside we burn.
What it do, man? What it do?
It's a good Friday, man.
Good Friday, good Friday. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Today we're gonna be talking about homelessness for the people that is watching our episode. This show is gonna be about homelessness. The reason why we came up with this topic is because during the winter time. The homelessness and the shelters and in the streets of New York City, they really cry out for help during the homeless during the time in the winter time, far as like the food, the shelters. The shelters fill up, the hospitals fill up, the subways fill up with the trains, with the people that's trying to stay warm. I see the homeless people riding the trains 24/7, and
trains got heat.
Yeah, I know. And saying that, a lot of the homeless people, the mental health people, the subways become more dangerous. Because like I said, the people who trying to go to work, the people who's trying to just make it to their destination have to deal with the homelessness, and sometimes it can be scary and frustrating dealing with homeless people begging. People, they begging for money, they begging for food, and so I think this episode can, really break down by my experience of being homeless in New York. I can kind of give deeper insights on what it's like to being homeless in the streets of New York and dealing with the cold weather.
Definitely. We also have to look at both sides of the coin.
Okay.
The people, the 99.9% didn't ask to be there. You understand what I'm saying? And it's dangerous, but to them, the shelters are even more dangerous. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like the choice of which the lesser of the evil that you choose. You understand what I'm saying? And resources a lot of times don't get allocated the way they're supposed to. People pocket the money and then these people suffer. You understand what I'm saying? So it's two sides to the coin. I understand people, they don't want to see this type of stuff, but they have to remember that they go home, they go in a warm house, they have a warm meal, you know what I'm saying? Their life is pretty much set, and these people, their life is just unpredictable because they're almost like migrants. The migrants have like a word of people moving and migration, so it might be safe to sleep in this park this week, but then who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what danger comes?
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, far as the different intake, far as, because I don't heard homeless people say that the shelters are more dangerous than the penitentiary, and I can understand it because me being in the shelters in my early years of visiting New York, I remember I was on Ward's Island.
I'm glad you brought them up.
And Ward's Island, I think this was like 2004, 2005. And my first time ever coming to New York, it was wintertime. And a lot of people that never been to New York don't understand like the up north weather cold is different from the down south cold.
Right.
And because see, New York is surrounded with water, so it's like they got the cold with that cold wind blowing off that water.
Oh yeah.
It makes it extremely cold between those buildings and
Show
things,
factors,
right?
right.
So I remember when I first landed in New York, right? I was at Port Authority, and me first being here, I was excited because everybody dream at one point in their life they want to come to New York to see
Big
how
city,
New York
big
is.
apple.
Yeah, big dreams,
Right.
So I'm here, I'm excited about New York, but also I came with a drug addiction. So me being in New York with a drug addiction, I ended up in Harlem,
Right.
I was in Harlem, running the streets of Harlem in these big projects, and I remember, cause see, when you using far as cocaine and crack, right, you're numb, so you just can't really feel the coldness because of the high, and it was sometimes I would be so high as where I couldn't feel the coldness, but it became points when I began to run out of money is where the coldness, the numbness of the hands and the feet began to affect my ability to function. And that's when like 2, 3 in the morning, like 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the morning in New York is freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember being caught in those moments of freezing cold, being in these projects in Harlem, being in the hallways of these projects. Like a lot of those projects, right? Like people lived in the projects, but like the stairways, it was people living in the stairways. They had like beds and furniture, like
But even then, it's taking a chance for trespassing.
yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
and you know what I'm saying. And I, like I said, this is my first time ever being in New York, in Harlem, like, and I'm like experiencing all this coldness and this drug addiction and homelessness, and I began to like go to different shelters and different soup lines and different places in New York. I was really lost and confused in New York because I had never been. I've been to big cities, but New York it's more people. It's like it's like millions and millions and millions of people. So it's like everything is just it's going, especially especially like I'm saying, like in like somewhere like in Harlem, Manhattan, period. And Manhattan is big. Like you got the Spanish Harlem, you got Harlem, then it has like the upper Manhattan, then it has the lower Manhattan. Right. So it was a lot of places that I was in where, like, being a person from a small city in this big city, man, I could have drowned in this city. I could have died, because it was a lot of situations that I was in living in New York. I mean, not living, but just street to street,
Right.
Projects, the projects, different projects, what I'm saying, being around different types of people. It was just, but at the same time, it was like, I ain't gonna say it was fun, but it was more like I was exploring New York. I was getting the feel of what it was like living in New York.
So I gotta come to the other side again.
What?
For the people, you know what I'm saying?
What you mean?
We got this the Wake It Up for the People show right here. How many like outreach programs or organizations, I'm talking about during this time you was migrating and moving around, how many of them approached you, or how many of them did you see out there in the field while this was all going on?
Well, like they had like a lot of drop-in centers, what I'm saying, like where you could go and get out the cold and sit, what I'm saying, and but I would do that, it was times that I would go to, they had a lot of like programs, like rehabs and stuff like that.
It's nice, but it's not like a resolution to people's situation. So it's like, that's temporary. You go there, you warm up, you sit down, you have a meal, and then it's like, you still gotta face that.
Yeah, you still gotta face your reality, but see, I looked at it like this, because it was time that it was programs like rehabs that people sent me to, and I went there, and I would stay for about 4 or 5 days, and I would leave. You know,
Right.
because so you got to be willing to want to like come out of not just your drug addiction, out of homelessness. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody don't have a drug addiction that's homeless. You know, it's a lot of people. It's just mental health. That's just
deteriorates your mental health.
yeah. So
You have
what
people walk by, look at you like you're lower than low.
Yeah.
You don't exist. You know what I'm saying? And it makes your worth, like your self-worth, goes down. And that's where the mental comes in, because pressure busts pipes. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there starving, your stomach growling, and there's people going by eating. You know what I'm saying? And you just lose your mind. You might run by, snatch their food. I've seen people, you know, throw stuff in the garbage and then spit in the garbage, and I've seen people go in there.
I witnessed that a lot. You know,
And it's heartbreaking to see stuff like that.
during my experience of being homeless, right? See, I knew why I was homeless. I knew that the reason why I was homeless because I was a slave to drug addiction. I was so caught up in chasing a high and trying to numb my reality from not wanting to face my reality, right? Because see, a lot of times, like when a person that have a drug addiction, when they're not high, they're looking at, they're having, well, for me, I'm gonna say,
They're trying to chase that next high.
well, for me, what I'm saying is, see, when you're not high, what made me chase the next high was the fact that I didn't want to look at my past. I didn't want to look at, man, you fucked your whole life up. And see, like, so when you clear-headed, you can somewhat see like the world. You're not really clearly. You can see.
That's how people get caught in that wave when
Yeah.
they stay intoxicated.
So what I'm
intoxicated.
saying, when you clear-headed with no drugs in you see
Reality
people living
hits.
their life.
Right,
You see
reality
people
hits.
like, not just like, you see young people, old people, they up going to work, going to school, they productive, and you somewhere you stuck in life, and that's what made me chase the next high, because I didn't want to look at that. So what I'm saying is, like, once I went to these different places, there's a lot of resources, a lot of help for you. It got to be the point where, like, Sevens, you've been using drugs for 5 years straight, right? And you go into a rehab. All right, now you're in a rehab, and you've been in a rehab three weeks. Now, in these 3-week period, you cleaning your body, your mind, your everything, your soul, everything is cleansing. So in this reality, you looking at what the fuck you done did to your life. You looking at like and see you sitting here in reality, and it don't feel good. It don't feel good to. So a lot of people revert back to that. I've done it. The reason why I'm telling this story is because I've done it. It was so painful to witness my reality. I said, I'll go back to what I know. And that was the lifestyle of the streets.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is, like, being out in the streets homeless, for me, I was around, I had to learn what I just shared with you. See, I had to really sit down and analyze, like, this is what really happened to me. So how I'm gonna get out of this? And then at the same time, I was around people that they didn't even have a drug addiction. They just was mentally ill. Or Sevens, it was a death in their family, and they went into a deep depression. Or they may lost their leg. They may lost their arm. You see what I'm saying? Or they may had a good career and lost their job, and they didn't know how to function. So they went into so that's what I had to understand, is where I had to separate myself from everybody else and look at, why are you homeless?
Right.
Why are you walking the streets, sleeping outside? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? And I must say this too. Being in Harlem using drugs, my first time ever being in New York, there was like Muslim ladies. All right, there was like a Muslim woman, right? she was on drugs, but she took me in. She helped me because she knew I wasn't from New York, and she, like I said, she shot heroin.
This was Harlem?
Yeah, this was in Harlem. She was a Muslim though.
No, but it was big there from the 60s. So.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like she took me in because she knew that I was this little young man, because I wasn't no kid. I was a young man, you know what I'm saying, caught up in the grips of addiction in a big city, didn't know nobody. And she knew it, and she took me in, and she, you know what I'm saying, even though we was using drugs together, she was trying to get me to understand, you don't want to do this the rest of your life. You need to find new avenues and things like that, you know. And right to this day, to be honest, if I seen that woman, I wouldn't even know who she was. So that's how I know.
She'll know who you was. She'll know who you was.
You think? I don't, like I said, this was like in 2004, 2005, somewhere in that area. You know,
20 years.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, when you using drugs, you use drugs with a lot of people that you don't even know.
Right, but when you using drugs with people like that, you know what I'm saying? Even though you might have forgotten her,
yeah,
she was determined to get you where you are today. So she'll
Yeah.
never forget you. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie. I wish that I could, you know, meet her, let her know, you know, like you know what I'm saying, because like I said,
Maybe
it was.
she'll see the podcast or hear the
Yeah,
podcast.
you're right. You know, because like I said, it was a lot of times people that me being not from a city, you know, being out using drugs, and because a lot of times I would be like in areas using drugs, even in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? When I was going to cop drugs, because see, back then I had goals in my mouth, top and bottom, right? And plus you could see the tattoos, right? So I would go up to drug dealers, right? And be like trying to cop. They wouldn't serve
Even
me.
with all of that, they probably thought you was
Yeah,
a D.
if you know, like at one they was like, you gotta be police or something.
Right,
You know what I'm
they
saying?
think you're a detective.
Yeah, so I'm like, I ain't no police, but not just in New York. That's anywhere I ever went and got used drugs, because, like I said, and that's the reason why I'm
Because
saying
you're from somewhere else. And
yeah, and
that,
plus
you know,
the accent,
Right.
but a lot of times you don't see people that using hardcore drugs with like a lot of gold in their mouth. And you see it.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but still you're gonna be curious, like, bro, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And
There's a millionaire crackheads.
yeah,
Millionaire
yeah.
gangs.
So that's what I'm saying. That was the part that kind of like made a lot of people that I was using with be like, you don't need to be using drugs, bro. You know what I'm saying? They be like, why? They used to ask me, man, what made you start using like this? You know what I'm saying? And I would tell them, you know what I'm saying? And but like I said, that's what she did. She used to like.
She was functional.
She was functional, but she was more like, cause like I said, this one was like, I think at the time I probably was like 26, 27. So she had to been like in her 50s at the time. Right. So she had already been like in the streets of Harlem. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
She's seen everything. You know what I'm saying?
Harlem was a different Harlem.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I was running the streets, she would let me come into her, she had an apartment. She would let me come in her apartment and be there, you know what I'm saying? And she would try to like, you know, she would try to feed me and everything, you know what I'm saying? She was really like trying to help me understand that I know you using drugs right now, but you can't make this shit a career. You know what I'm saying? Because she was like, I made this shit a career. And because like I said, she was shooting dope, she was snorting dope, and she was doing coke and crack. You know what I'm saying? She had everything. You know what I'm saying? But she was, like I said,
I told you she was functional.
Yeah.
She was worried about you eating.
Yeah, because she was
paying her bills, cleaning up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She's
so
taking care of business.
So like that's what I was saying. Like, so the purpose of me sharing this on this episode is to get people to understand that everybody that's out there in those streets homeless, a lot of them may have a drug addiction, but a lot of them don't. a lot of them just
No, that's
like,
true.
and that's the hardest part. There is where it's some homeless people you can't help because they don't even know how to live.
I've been living here for 15 years, and they've been living at the ferry for about
Yes.
15 years, and God knows how long before that. I seen one of the most known people out there. I seen her daughter ride around on a bus with her, and I guess her daughter was moving out of state and starting her life over, and basically rode around on the bus and then left the mom in the streets. And then all of these years later, I see the lady still out there. And I've talked about, here specifically, the things that go on over there and how they're overlooked. And even when they built the new mall, they could have hired them. They could have built a shelter there. There's a whole area where the worker buildings are abandoned buildings there. There's an abandoned hospital over there. And they're not utilizing these things here. But you built a new mall with people on top of people who don't have nothing. And when you look across the street, it's the precinct. So it seemed like it's capitalizing all the way around the board. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
When you,
Like
don't have, when you
yeah.
don't have the money to pay for stuff, then the only other option is to, you understand what I'm saying? And that's not legal. So you end up in the legal system, and then people capitalizing off the judge, the court, and whatever jail they send you to. But that still doesn't help their situation. And I feel they should have got to the bottom of the situation a long time ago out here, actually.
Yeah, like I said, seeing a homeless person that can't, that don't know how to function on their own is a very critical situation for any human to be in, and a lot of times when I see those people, I really strive to help them, I really, even if I just give them a couple of dollars, or if they ask for food, I don't never try to turn them down. The only way I turn them down if I'm like on a train or something and it's a crowd, I don't feel like going in my pocket trying to get money out, and it's just too much. But if I can get access to really just give it to them, I do it. You know what I'm saying? If I got some cash on it, I gotta give them something. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, a lot of people don't understand. But I want to stay on the same topic, but I want to share this part with the world.
Can I just say
Go ahead.
I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
right.
But we had talked about Ward's Island. And
yeah,
one of the
boy.
recent stories that broke out there is that the hardened criminals had got put out their building there, for repairs, and they're running around the island over there. Okay.
For those, let's break down Ward's Island, because a lot of people don't know what Ward's Island is. All right, so Ward's Island, all right, it is New York got 5 boroughs. All right, so is I know it's a Ward's Island, so is it considered a borough?
No, it's just
It's on the island though, right? All right.
Right.
Just like the jail is on the island, right?
right.
All right.
But it's situated between Queens and the Bronx.
All right, so look, my experience, first time ever going, right? I remember I was in Harlem, right? And I met this Muslim brother. He was using drugs too. He was homeless in the streets. And he said, "Man, let's go to Ward's Island." I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's an island where it's like a lot of shelters." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Hospitals.
yeah, so I said, all right, I'm gonna go. I said, all right, because I'm out in the streets. I'm just following him because he's from New York. He's a little short Muslim. You know what I'm saying? So we get on the bus and go to Ward's Island. And first day over there, right? Straight penitentiary. That's all I could think of. Razor wires. The buildings look like penitentiaries. And when I went inside the building, like I said, it was like a penitentiary.
Right.
And I don't even think I spent. I think I spent the night. I just can't remember, but I know I never went back. Right. I said, man, cause see, I'm one of those ones been locked up all my life, right? And me going to like a shelter. It bothered me because it reminded me of jail. So I hated it.
Right.
Yeah, I hated it. So even when I went to rehabs, I didn't want to go to a rehab with all men because I've been locked up all my life. It's where if I go to a rehab, it gotta be co-ed. It gotta be some women in there because you see what I'm saying? Because being locked up, and that's one of the reasons I didn't stay at Ward's Island. But at the same time, Ward's Island was very dangerous. They was getting high over there, and they had like a
straight off the boat.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like to live on Ward's Island, bro, you might as well go. It's like you volunteering to go into prison.
I mean, they could do their research because remember when the migrants was there, they had built the tent city. Remember? They had put up a tent for them. They didn't want to go in there, so they started putting their stuff on the outside. But people lost their life.
I couldn't. Like I said, I didn't stay 24 hours, bro. When I first went over there, and when the Muslim brother showed me this, I said, man, how do people? And then, I think I may have spent the night because I remember going to the cafeteria. I don't know if it was for lunch or it was for breakfast. It was like they slid something out of slot. You know what I'm saying? Right. I said, oh no, I cannot do it. When I went back, I got on the bus and went straight back to Harlem, right? And I never went back, you know.
No, a lot of people is not fortunate to do that because that's one of the most famous men's shelter.
Yeah, because because I noticed like in New York it's different. It's where you just can't. It's like you got to go, like it's somewhere in Manhattan, you got to go to the main shelter and they send you to something.
Right.
Yeah, see, like that's something.
The intake.
Yeah, so like down south.
And that's a process.
Yeah, that's a process. So like down south, it's not like that. You just go to a shelter. But see, like I was saying,
they're going to capitalize off you. So you got to go and everybody, you got to see everybody.
They'll point you to Ward's Island. And like I think when one time when I was trying to get myself together and I went to that main intake somewhere in Manhattan. And
it depends. So the family one used to be like 138th Street. Okay. Like single, you probably could go to Bellevue, you know what I'm saying? And sign up there. But there's a lot of families out there. So the majority of the crowd probably goes to 138th Street. Whether they have kids, whether it's a couple that's a young couple married, or you know what I'm saying, that type of situation.
Yeah, so that, like I said, being in those type of situations is gonna branch off to this topic that I wanted to share, right? All right, before I ever became homeless, right, I hustled the blocks, right? So I was used to having money, used to having material things, used to having the flies, clothes, and shoes and all that, right?
Right.
But here's the one of the things that, because in all bad situations, I think good can come from it, right?
Right.
So my experience of being homeless, right, what it did for me, right, was it helped me appreciate the small things of life. It helped me to understand that it ain't about a $200, $300 pair of shoes. You understand? The stuff that I was, before I ever became homeless, the stuff that I was caught up in, and the stuff that went after my homelessness, the things, how I view the world now, the material world, far as the expensive name brand, the stuff that I was chasing, it's no longer a desire for me. You know, like,
right.
And that's something that came from me being homeless. That it's not about for me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's nice to have nice things, you know, nice clothes, shoes, whatever. But I don't have to have 50 pair of shoes. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to have 50 pair, $300, $400 pair of shoes. I can have 2 pair, because at one point, even when I was clean, when I began to change my life, because see, addiction comes in many ways. See, when I got clean, by me not being fresh or having nice clothes due to homelessness, when I got clean, I started going to the mall, buying clothes, and I turned around one day, I got 50 pair of shoes in my closet.
Right.
And I ain't warm in like 2-3 years.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, you trying to get all this material stuff. And one day I just went in my closet, got all that stuff, man, took it to a homeless park, and I just gave all that away. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point I realized I don't need all this material stuff. And that's something that I learned in being homeless, that it's the fact that being content. Not saying I don't want more. Creating this piece of art, I wanted to take the time to express to y'all what this painting really means to me. See, when I created this painting was something that I must tell you is very heartfelt, very passionate, very emotional to create this painting. See, this painting right here is about a drug addict, a heroin addict, a crack addict, a black woman living in New York who I met years ago. See, traveling from city to city, I would travel through city to city, state to state, using drugs, trying to find my way. I ended up in New York, in Harlem, New York, using drugs, running the streets. I ran into this black woman. She was a heroin addict. She shot dope, and she smoked crack night and day. Me being first time in New York City, I was drowning in New York. Freezing cold out in the cold winter. Lost. She took me in. She was a Muslim. She had the same faith that I had as a Muslim. This is how I know the Creator brought her to me. We both got high together. We both suffered in our addiction. But one thing about this sister that I paint this creation. See, I seen past her addiction. I seen past her losses and her faults and her sadness and her depression. I seen a black woman with bold horns that helped me, who had courage and love and passion to help such a young kid drowning in New York City streets. You see, she took me in when no one else was there. This how I know. See, I look see the Creator put this woman in my life, look far past her addiction, her shooting heroin, her smoking crack and snorting dope. See, the Creator look way past those flaws and used that woman to bring me into her home. See, she lived in Harlem, in the heart of Harlem, where they shoot dope and get high on a high rate. A deadly zone where many don't survive. And I was a little kid, age 20, maybe 24, 25, suffering, running from block for block, getting high. Couldn't stop getting high. Almost lost my life in these streets of New York. She took me in and told me, you need to go somewhere and save your soul, your spirit. You need some help, young kid. See, she was like a 60-year-old woman. Been struggling in these streets, roaming these streets for decades. But she's had that passion, that love, that understanding, the mercy to bring me in, to try to blow life into me, even though she was struggling in her own addiction and her struggles was great. I seen the track marks on her arm. I seen the sadness in her eyes, the pain. She needed help, but she seen fit that she wanted to help this young kid who couldn't shake his addiction, who was lost. this black woman who had boldness in her heart. She had a passion and a force and a supreme spirit to want to help such a kid like me. You see, this creation that I created, it symbolized that black woman, that sister, that Muslim sister that seen me drowning out there in them streets in Harlem. She's told me to come in, come out the rain, the snow, the sleet. You need help, young kid. What you doing out here? Where you from? That's what she asked me. I told her I'm from down south, small city. She said, why you in this big city? Why you in this big city drowning with all these sharks in this jungle, this concrete jungle, where there's lions and tigers and alligators and hyenas that will eat you alive? Why you up here chasing a high that you can never get? See, I remember that woman. So I said I wanted to create this painting, this bold painting for that sister. I can't even remember her name. Don't even remember her face. But I remember her spirit, her passion, her love that the Creator sent through her to me, to hold me, to help me when it was cold nights, many nights, freezing cold in New York City. That black woman with that boldness. See these horns you see? That was the boldness of the bull, the bravery, the soldier of that black woman, wrapped in garment to help me. See, I remember that sister, and I told myself one day I was going to create a painting symbolizing the mercy of the Creator through that woman. See, I'm a true believer that the Creator uses human beings to send messages, to help people through other spirits. Thank you for the Creator for having such mercy on my soul. At a young age, addiction had me in its grips, had me suffering out there in them streets, begging for mercy. And that sister lend her love and her passion to me. Thank you. I understand. When I create now, I understand to go back in time, to travel back in time, to get those people, those beautiful souls that no one acknowledge. See, there's amazing, beautiful, most amazing people in this world suffering from drug addiction. They can't shake their drug addiction, their pain, depression. So they live through me, through my art. I tell their story. Thank you. The black sister that came when she seen me standing on the corners, chasing a high that I never got. She brung me in out the cold, the freezing cold. Gave me something to eat, to drink. Told me to lay down and get some rest. You look like you've been up for days. Take a bath. Rest your spirit and your soul. Pray to Allah. Ask Him to deliver you from your pain. Allahu Akbar. For the gift that the Creator gave me, such as a young age, I never knew how powerful this gift would be. To such degrees to take me to high places and to take me into places that I would never dream to be.
Oh Creator, thank you for this gift that you gave to me. This gift that I have, I never knew that this gift will help me to be able to express to the world, to speak to the world across countries, across cities, to reach hearts, to reach minds, to reach the souls of people throughout the earth. This gift that I have, I never knew that such gift would be so powerful to me. The Creator gave me this gift as a young child, instilled it in me as a young kid. I never knew that I toted and traveled with this gift for many years, neglecting this gift, hidden in my soul, in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind. I never knew such gifts would have me so amazed at what I could do, to be able to think and visualize, to put it on paper, a canvas, to think about how I can visualize a dream, a thing that can cause me to go to high places with this dream that I have, that which is called a gift. Never knew that what this Creator gave to me as a little child that would take me to high places. Using my mind, my eyes, and my hands, and my heart to design and to create with special techniques to speak to the minds and the souls of the people is so dearest to me. Continue to create as I continue to travel into the future, into my destination, the places where this art will take me, I don't know. Only the future holds what the Creator has for me with this art. I continue to design, create, speak to the world, to heal, and speak to people through my art is something that I most dearest to me. Continue to grow as I fashion and create. My love for art has become a higher place for me. Such beauty, such imagination, such insight to the world. To speak to the world without even speaking a word is so powerful to me. Never knowing that as a little kid that this gift that I had will be so powerful in this day and time. Almost 50 years later, I began to create, to speak to the world through art, through designs, through brushes and pencils and pieces of paper, canvases. This is the power of my gift. See, you have to really understand how long it took me to understand how powerful this gift was to me. See, it took many years, many lanes and journeys and destinations and failures to get to this place where I could be able to use my hands, to be able to sketch something from my mind, to teach, to educate, to love, to show people how beautiful this powerful gift that I have. How beautiful and amazing that this gift I have. Only the Creator could give me something like this. When people understand how powerful this thing is to me, I understand with deep within, with one eye, painting and sketching and drawing, speaking to the world through my soul, through my spirit. You can see it in the papers, the pencils, the brushes, the strokes, the blending, the understanding. To understand this such power, you must understand it's not me alone. It's the Creator working through me, working through my hands, my arms, my mind, my soul, my spirit, my eyes, speaking and showing and driving and pointing directions for me to create, to speak to the world, let them know and let them see. Through His power, you can see the miracles, the blessing of this gift that He gave to me at a young age, as a baby growing up in this world, this world that comes with so much trials and obstacles and pain and suffering. This gift was given to me to be able to control and understand and use it to the ability to help me cope with life, to help me be able to drive and promote and understand and inspire the world through my art. You can see that this gift that I have, the Creator gave it to me. Look at the designs that I create, the patterns, the art, the beauty of this art. It comes from the Creator, someone who gave me this gift. I must say, through my hands, you can see the powers, the forces, the supreme beings of the Creator creating through my hands. Such power is so amazing to understand this power that's in my hands. You see, it took a long time for me as an artist to understand and really take heed to what I have, this precious gift that the Creator gave to me. See, as I continue to create, I understand where this power is coming from. I understand that this thing that I have is so precious that people will envy me for such powers. See, I have to watch my surroundings, understand that this gift can bring envy and jealousy and people who despise such a gift. I understand, but I do not want people to envy me, to be jealous of me, to bring hatred towards me for this powerful gift that I have. I use this gift to heal the world, to express to the world my emotions, my pain, my suffering, my joy, my understanding of life, striving to heal the world, send a message, send shockwaves through the earth to help people throughout this world, the rich, the poor, the guilty, the shame, the hurt, the loss, the suffering. Through my art, I want to show you this gift. You see, it took me a long time to understand what's power, this power that I have in this gift called art. You see, many people take their gifts for granted, don't understand or don't know how to use their gifts to channel the energy, the good energy, to be able to send love through the earth. See, that's what my love is, through this gift. Creating art has become one of my true identities, to help the world, to speak to the world. Through my art, I want you to love. I want you to see how powerful that this being has become through me. You see, the inner child in me has begun to use its creation to be able to channel his love, to heal, to understand the powers of art. You see, for many years, I tried to understand, what can I do with this gift? What do I need to do with this gift? How can I use it to be able to survive in this world that takes things for granted? How can I use this art to touch the world? Look at my paintings, look at my creation, look at the designs that I create, the powers, the forces, the energy that I bring through art, through this lens of camera. Can't you see through the lens of this camera this amazing art? This art that I speak to you through is an expression of my inner self, the spirit of me, the spirit. When I'm long and gone, you will see the spirit live on through my art. Because that's something that I understand now. With my art, I use it to speak to the world, to leave trace marks, to leave markings on the walls of life. So you can study my art, to understand my beauty of art, to understand and take cherish of my art. You see, my art has become one of the most dynamic bombs of this creation. In this day and time, in this moment in time, I learned to freeze time and create with my magical, beautiful, amazing, powerful gift. I learned to channel my anger, my emotions, my sadness, my joys, the gratitude, the grace and mercy. I learned to put them all in one, to be able to express to the world. You see, through this piece of creation, I wanted to design the forces of love, the forces of power and strength, and supreme beings of how you can create to help the world to understand that your gift, your powers, you gotta tap into who you really are to really find what you are really here for on earth. See, lost in this destination of life, I had no identity until I went to my art. And when I tapped into my gift, my identity, my true identity began to crack open the doors and help me see through a third eye the vision, the journey, the path that I need to take to continue on to this destination that I must seek through this earth. As I travel through this world, through this earth, heading into the future, I understand that if I don't take my gift with me, I'm doomed. So as I continue to create, continue to paint, draw, visualize, take my time and my effort and my spirit, I must take this gift into the future. Continue to paint, design, and sketch, and help my spirit and my soul channel my energy through life to help me to continue to create. Creating has become one of my most passionate things at an age that I am is now. This life I continue to use to create, to help me design, to help me understand that this thing called life is designed through a gift that everyone had. In order for you to understand your gift, you must look within. And once you look within, you will see and find your true identity.
It could not stay in the hands of Muhammad. Literally.